Hey Gengar gang, what is going on? My name is Ryan, this is the Analytic Gengar, and welcome to another PokeChat. In today's video, friends, we'll be discussing the age-old and very spicy topic of basically 2020. Is Champion's Path worth it, and is Champion's Path the new Hidden Fates? So, if you've been living under a rock for the past couple of months, long story short, Champion's Path is the newest holiday set from Pokemon. It is similar to Hidden Fates in that it is not a whole numbered set within Sword and Shield, so Hidden Fates was a 0.5 set or a holiday set or a special subset, and so is Champion's Path. The only difference is that it came out a year later, and instead of being in the Sun and Moon era, it is now in the Sword and Shield era. There's been a lot of hype around this particular set, and that can be caused by a couple different things. Firstly, it's 2020, so everyone's just going nuts for Pokemon cards. Second, with all of the hype around Pokemon investability, there's been a lot of questions raised about perhaps other people from outside the hobby bum rushing new sets with the intention of either trying to make a quick buck or trying to see if these are the cool new sets to invest in. That said, obviously there's a lot more nuance to the investability of a Pokemon card set than just, oh, let me buy something at Target and hold it. And today we're going to be taking a little bit more of an in-depth look into what exactly is this set, why perhaps it is so sought after, and maybe some warning signs about maybe why you should hold off on buying this set and why you might want to actually buy some of this set if you see it in stores. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get right on into it. And of course, the first thing we should do whenever we take a look at a new set is go ahead and take a look at the card list. So the card list is, get this, the card list in total is only 80 cards. So you see from here is the Pokelector card list, and what's funny is that it's only 80 cards, so this is a pretty comically small set, all things considered. Let's take a real good look at it. Venusaur is the number one. It's a V card, and then it just kind of runs down. As you notice, there's only like maybe 10 of each type, and that's a big overstatement because there's only 5 grass Pokemon, there's only 5 fire, etc., etc. As you can see, there are some cards that are being pretty pursued and sought after right now. You have this Gardevoir VMAX and the equivalent Rainbow Rare that are pretty sought after. Surprisingly, there's a lot of dark type Pokemon in this set, which I thought was pretty interesting. And before you know it, you will get right on into the trainer cards, and then the full arts, and then the secret rares. And as you can see, there are only 5 Rainbow Rares and then 2 special cards at the end. Now let's take a quick look at, of course, the 2 cards that everyone has been yapping about, and that would have to be the Charizard VMAX or Rainbow Rare, so you can see that right over here. And as you can see, TCG Player has one for $1,490. That's basically a $1,500 card when you do the math, which is really comically expensive for a Charizard card that you can literally pull by buying off a store shelf. The other card that everyone seems to be yapping about is this Charizard V Shiny card. So there is a ETB promo of it in just its regular color, and then there is this shiny variant card that is pulled as a secret rare. The reason it's a secret rare is it is 79 over 73. So these are the 2 cards that everyone seems to be yapping about. If you pull these cards, obviously you're going to be in the money. You're probably going to be able to sell these cards for quite a bit of money, and later in this video we will actually take a look at prices on eBay for the Rainbow Rare, just to kind of see where people are kind of falling on a auction basis. All things considered, here's the problem with Champion's Path, in my opinion. Bear in mind, PokeChats are meant to be a little bit more subjective. I'm not necessarily doing research, I'm just kind of going off a combination of things. One, what other people are saying, because of course I watch other videos on this type of content, not only to get ideas, but also to see what others are saying in the hobby and see where my opinions may line up with theirs or where we may disagree. And that is actually beneficial because now in this video I can not only synthesize my own ideas, but I can also present to you what other commentators may be saying on the same topics. By and far, a lot of people are impressed with the cards, but aren't necessarily happy that they're so expensive. And honestly, that's true. After these two cards, what more is there in this set that you're really going to go after? There's the Gardevoir VMAX, which everyone likes. It's like a $40 card. Hop is pretty cool. And, you know, after that, it just kind of fizzles. Like, there's not really much else you really need to get. I think Rhymestyle pulled like 2 Suspicious Food Tins. And the funny thing is that, you know, bear in mind, number 69 to 80, that's only 11 cards. After that, what is there really in this set? There's some trainer cards, mind you. Most of them are reprints. If you watch any of the YouTubers that also play the TCG, they'll let you know, like, half these cards are basically reprinted cards, and maybe they come in a special holo version, but it's the literal exact same card with the exact same print, with the exact same, you know, energy bonus or special clause attached to it. So it's not like any of these cards are new and creative. And then most of these guys over here are also either reprints or basically alternate art. It's pretty funny because this Eldegoss is literally almost exactly reprinted from earlier in this year. Oh, it's just like slightly different artwork. So in my opinion, if you're buying this for artwork, I think you're gonna find it a little lackluster. If you're a big Gardevoir fan, there is quite a bit here for you in terms of collectability, but again, there's 4 different Gardevoirs to collect. Mind you, it's a set of 80, so literally 5% of the cards are Gardevoir, 2.5% of the cards are Charizard related. Actually more than that, because you actually have a Charizard V, I thought you did anyway, but there are actually a couple different cards where it's like if you add up the amount and divide it by the amount of cards in the set, it's like 5% Gardevoir, 2.5% Charizard. You kind of get what I'm saying here. The other thing is that, and fun fact, I did do an opening this past Saturday, and there's another one coming out this Thursday, but one of the things to bear in mind is that this set gets old very quick. One of the reasons that it can be a little tough to open this set is because after a while you keep pulling the same holos. Champion's Path is one of those sets where each and every single one of the packs has a guaranteed holo hit or better, meaning if you're not going to pull a V card, a texture card, or a secret rare, you're going to pull one of like 5 different holo cards. So you'll have this Hatterene, number 20, which is a holo card. You have a Machamp, which is a holo card right over here. You have this Zygarde, which is a holo card, and you get the point. There's maybe like 10 or 15 holo cards to pull, and after that, you better hope you're getting a V card or better, because if you're not getting an ultra rare, it's one of probably 10 to 15 holo cards that get very old very quickly in the set. So you should have a pretty good understanding of Champion's Path, what's good with it. Obviously, some of the product that has already come out includes a ETB, which I will show a little bit later on in the video in depth, but here's what it looks like. Right over here is one on eBay. It's you know, it's nothing impressive. It's Charizard. It's a black ETB with gold print, and it's very holographic. So I guess that's one of the things that people have really kind of hyped up about the set, is that it's not the first time, but it is the first time Charizard VMAX is on a ETB. Previously, Unbroken Bonds did have Charizard in its regular form on an ETB as well. Now let's jump back here real quick. So we've talked about Champion's Path, the set, how quickly it can get kind of played out / tiring. Now let's look at Hidden Fates, because everybody seems to be comparing this set to Hidden Fate, and I can see why they do that. They came out about the same time, about a year apart. They're both highly sought after, and a lot of people are thinking that Champion's Path is going to be the next Hidden Fates. Now, let's talk a little bit about Hidden Fates. And to do that, I figured the best thing to do is to show you eBay right now as this video is being recorded. So this video is being recorded Saturday, it's coming out Tuesday. There's really not that big a difference in timing, but just take a look at this. There are 40 bids on a Elite Trainer box, and it is selling for $310. Mind you, that is not its final selling price. It's probably going to go something closer to $320. Let's take a look at a few sold auctions very quickly, and let's see what people are doing about that. I've got one sold at $320. I've got literally the dice alone selling for $5. You have a, well, that's a weird one, but that's a Champion's Path and a Charizard GX box selling for $1.25. You have literally the promo card out of the ETB for $50, which, by the way, was the MSRP of just the entire Hidden Fates ETB back in the day. Here is a Gem Mint 10 ETB promo for, you know, the best offer accepted. I bet it was something in the range of like $200. Here's a $330 sale plus $13 shipping. You get the point. The point is that there's obviously a lot going on with Hidden Fates, and it's become a fan favorite. Let's take a look at that set list very quickly to try to understand why. Now, this should look a bit familiar to quite a few people. There were obviously tons of openings, myself included, opening over 200 packs, pulling that Charizard. So really, what makes this set fun? Well, Hidden Fates was a pretty interesting set for one reason. You had Hidden Fates, which, by the way, is only number 1, Caterpie, all the way down to number 69, nice, Moltres and Zapdos and Articuno GX. That is the Hidden Fates part of this particular set of cards. Now, you might be confused when you hear me say that, because no, there's all those shiny cards, right? Not necessarily. Hidden Fates is the name of the set of cards 1 through 69. And then there is a Hidden Fates Shiny Vault, a subset of Hidden Fates, and that's where all of the special shiny cards come into play. Now, with the shiny cards, what's cool is that we start off with Scyther and we work all our way down to SV94, which is the Tapu Lele card. So in total, you had 163 cards. Mind you, Champion's Path only has 80, so that's already a 83 card difference, effectively meaning Champion's Path is only about half the size of Hidden Fates. Now, what's the other part that makes Hidden Fates a little bit more long-lived as a set? Well, for every pack that you opened, you would open up, and in the reverse holo slot, you could either get a regular reverse holo out of Hidden Fates, or you had a chance to go into the shiny vault and pull one of the 94 different shiny vault cards from the Hidden Fates subset. Now, here's the thing. This is the card everybody likes to talk about. SV49, aka Charizard GX, aka Shiny Charizard GX, you name it, you know, look at the prices. You got $679 from TCG. The $8.99 Troll and Toad is either probably a proxy card or a card that's been torn in half and trying to be resold. You get the point. This card sells for a lot of money. It's sought after for a variety of reasons. It is the Burning Shadows Secret Rare artwork that they took and made this card. So, needless to say, it's a fan favorite card, sells for a lot of money, blah, 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 blah. Now, here's the thing. Let's go back to Champion's Path super quickly. Imagine this card and this card weren't here. Number 74 and 79, the two Charizards weren't there, right? What else is there in this set for you? Let's take a look real quick. Oh, gee, you're a Venusaur collector. Oh, wow, they already have a Venusaur V. Eldegoss V, done. Incineroar V, okay, fine. A Wailord, a Dreadnought, really? Like, okay, like a Gardevoir. What I'm trying to get at is that aside from Charizard in this particular set, there's really not much here that makes it that much more collectible. You really need to be a fan of Kabu or Piers or the Octopus Man in order to really go out of your way to get this set. Realistically, you buy this set to chase after the two Charizards. And maybe Hop. Hop is cool. But other than that, there's not really much you're here for other than Charizard. Let's look at Hidden Fates really quickly. Even if you took out... Where is it? Even if you took out this Charizard right over here, right? Like, let's just imagine it wasn't here. Let's go through this very quickly. You still have a dope trio of birds in the original set, Hidden Fates 1 through 69, right? So you still got that, which is pretty dope. You got this beautiful Eevee. You got the textured full art card, right? And then let's just take a brief look at the shinies, right? The baby shinies, you know, maybe hit or miss. Let's ignore Charmander and Charmeleon for a minute because we're assuming Charizard isn't in the set either, right? So for the baby shinies, you do have the full Dragon Trio from Gen 4 from Cynthia's line, which is pretty dope. And then let's see, you have an evolution, a starter, a legendary, another legendary, this gorgeous Ninetales card, a beautiful Articuno card. You see where I'm going with this, friends? Another evolution, probably like the world's most favorite Pokemon. I'm pretty sure that was #1 on the list. You have another Green Bean beautiful evolution. They got a couple Ultra Beasts in there. They got Lucario, another fan favorite, Umbreon, another fan favorite, the same Gardevoir, Darkrai. You see where I'm going with this? There are some really dope cards and Hidden Fates aside from Charizard, and honestly, some people don't even open Hidden Fates for the Charizard anymore. Like, you kind of want to hit Espeon, you kind of want to pack an Umbreon, you want to see Cynthia to get it into your binder. You have a dope set of gold cards, and then you have gold full art cards for the Tapus. So in the grand scheme of things, there's a little bit more here to keep you coming back. Like, if they put Hidden Fates on shelves today, I'm pretty sure people would buy it maliciously, because there's so much more to this set than just Charizard. And that, unfortunately, is the opposite in Champion's Path. Other than the 2 Charizards, which you see right here, you might be a Gardevoir fan, and if you pack it as a secret rare, it's a $40 card, but other than that, there's not really much here pulling you back. Once you pack a couple of cards, it's probably going to be a done deal for you. With Hidden Fates, even if you pack 1 or 2 or 3 of the evolutions, there's still more evolutions to go. And even then, there's the Ninetales, the Articuno, need I go on? My point is, Hidden Fates has a lot more bringing you back, and it's not only defined by 2 Charizards, it's defined by so much more that people will keep coming back. And that is exactly why you see the Elite Trainer boxes selling for the price that they do. People love the set, and so when people see it and want to buy it and are capable of doing so, they will pay $185 just for a promo card graded as a PSA 10. Now, you've seen Hidden Fates, you've seen and gotten to compare it against Champion's Path. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on the market. So right now, the whole drama is that if you go online and you try to search this up, right, I just typed in Champion's Path ETB, what you'll see is that people are asking $150, $99, $104. Let's go to the sold auctions very quickly and take a look at what they look like. You've got, a $20 promo card, you've got a $93 bid that was just completed today, plus, $10 in shipping, might as well call it $100 square. This was 77 plus 10, that's like 87, so we're closing in on 90. Point is, there's quite a bit of resale and markup going on eBay. And the same is true all over. If you're on Instagram and you follow a couple sellers, if you are on Facebook and you see a couple of the distributors posting, the general rule of thumb is that ETBs will go for $80 plus. What does that mean? That means, assuming you bought it at $80 shipped, you're still paying a $30 markup, and on the original price, that's already going to be 60% markup on the original price. So you're effectively paying 160% of MSRP just to get your hand on one of these guys. Now, given what we just spoke about and how not as great Champion's Path may be, why are people still doing this? Well, a couple of things. For one, as we mentioned, there is this Charizard Rainbow Rare card. And, to say the least, here's a couple searches for just the Rainbow Rare. We're not even going to go into the other shiny Charizard because it's basically the same story with a different card. But, upwards of $400, $500, $600 for the card. And prices continue to drop a little bit, right? So here's one for $455. You got 2 hours left on bidding. Again, this is going to end Saturday at 3:59 p.m. and obviously these prices are going to be very out of date in a couple months if you're watching it, like in December. Let's take a look at some of the sold prices, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to see if I can filter for just auctions to show something else, right? And then let's also do, ended recently, I guess. Yeah, that should work. All right, cool. So if we go all the way back, right, let's just scroll all the way down very quickly. Kind of want to see what happens. Alright, cool. So like we start with like September 25th as the earliest one that I found, right? 2 bids, $750. Literally not even a few hours later, another person bids $400 on it. So within an hour, there's a $350 price differential. And that's literally the day that the set launched. Then within 24 hours of that set, you have a $200 card sold, right? Ignore the $40 Gardevoirs. You've got, on that same day, it shot up in price again, about $320. Then it looks relatively stable over the next couple days or within the next couple of hours. It's selling for like 600 plus. You know, you might get a deal here or there. Bear in mind, like, each card is different, and so if this card was perhaps perfectly centered, it might have sold for a premium over this one that might have been shifted slightly left or right. You get the idea. There are some times when obviously things may sell for a little bit more, but you can see the general trend is somewhere in like this, 570 to 630 range, with like an occasional deal. Perhaps it's like a seller who doesn't have as great a reputation, so people are less willing to bid on the card, blah blah blah. And then would you look at that? By September 29th, you see a dip and you're like, oh no, what's that? In fact, this one might have actually been, this is the exact same photo, so I'm probably guessing something went wrong there. But over time, you start seeing that. Look at that. We're now testing a new low. That's 520 on the card. And then let's just scroll up a little bit more. 460 on the card, 539 on the card. So now all of a sudden, over a period of time, it looks like relatively within 3 to 5 days, the card has delta downward by about $150. And now 510 and 560 are the high values on the card, whereas down here we were seeing 600 on the regular and 700 as the high. So as you can see, the price of the card has gone down. What does that mean? Part of this is driven by hype. It's fun that there's a new Charizard. From what I understand, it's a gorgeous card when you finally pack it, and it's very good looking. Same thing with the other Charizard. The problem is that there's a lot of hype around the card right now, and this happens every time a new Pokemon card set comes out. Don't ever be shocked by some crazy eBay auction. It happened with Hidden Fates, it happened here with Champion's Path, it will happen again. People go crazy when the cards first come out because there's very small supply, and because there is small supply, a lot of people are willing to pay higher dollar values because, they have a plan. Maybe you buy this card the day it comes out, you send it immediately overnight to PSA to get it graded, it comes back, you can flip it on eBay because some other very ambitious person thinks it would be cool to own the only PSA 10 version of this card in the world. But what'll happen is, over the next couple of months, people will continue to open these packs, people will continue to pull this card, people will continue to submit it to PSA, and before you know it, there's probably going to be 1,000, 2,000 of these, and once that happens, the price of the card will gradually decline. Now, with all that said, it still has its value. So notice, just as of yesterday, one sold for $610. Why is that? Well, couple of things. Again, people are still experiencing the effects of a global health pandemic. It seems like, by and far, like the social end of the pandemic was somewhere around like the end of the summer, where, people, at least in my experience, have been a little bit more willing to go out to like, have a family barbecue, get together. Nothing crazy yet, but because people are more willing to do that, you would be fooled into thinking things are almost back to normal, when the truth of the matter is that a lot of people are still experiencing the effects of the pandemic, and one of those effects has been a big bout of consumerism. People like going to stores and buying stuff. That's why when you go to Target, a lot of Targets now have a sign that says limit 5 trading card items per day, because Pokemon and its distributors can't keep this stuff on store shelves. They literally put it on there and people go in and buy it up. Why is that? Nostalgia, people bored at home, people picking up a new hobby, people entering a hobby for investment and thinking raiding Target shelves is going to be the best way of investing for the future. It's a combination of factors, but at the end of the day, what ends up happening is there's a lot of demand, and because there's a lot of demand, people are willing to bid literally almost double the price of what you could buy it for online. And the problem is that people go in, buy it all, and then turn it over and sell it. So they control all of the local population. You might think it sounds crazy, but if I'm in New York City, for example, and I hit all of the targets I can in the morning and pick up all of the ETBs I can in the morning, then technically everyone else in New York City might not get a chance to get any. And so when I list them on eBay, I've technically cornered my local market. It sounds, it's a very micro example, but you get the idea. If people can suck up the entire supply within a given region, and it causes a demand, and then people are willing to pay this much. So part of what we're experiencing with Champion's Path is honestly 100% related to that. There's a lot of demand, there's not a lot of supply, therefore people are willing to buy at a higher price than normal. The second thing that is probably driving this is Charizard. And let's be fair, it's always going to be a fan favorite. It's Pokemon, one of Pokemon's big money makers. So honestly, it doesn't surprise me that the dream of pulling this card is going to make you want to, buy the card for that much. Let's think about it. If you have a $600 card, and let's even take that down more, right? Let's say you have $435 card, and you only spent $78. $435 minus 78 is $357, and that's a lot of money to make on a investment. That's literally, I think, almost 4 times. That's 4.5 times your money back in your pocket. So what does that mean? There is a price per value here that is actually pretty solid. You can buy one of these and theoretically open it up, even as expensive as it is right now, and theoretically you could make a lot of money, 4.5 times your money, which isn't anything to turn your nose up at, which is pretty cool. So I can see that being a reason, again, why this happens. So what do you have to do? Well, you have to be patient and you have to wait. Please don't go, and I'm not shouting out or calling out any particular seller or buyer, but don't go pay over MSRP for something that isn't worth it, because it's silly, and it feeds into a really bad habit that could happen in the Pokemon card community. What could end up happening is, if all of us go and buy from sellers who are doubling up and tripling up their prices because they bought it from a distributor and are now just raising the price, people will continue to do that. And people will continue to feel as though that is the optimal way to operate Pokemon. And so Pokemon's making a $50 ETB, and it's selling for double the price on the internet because a few people have all of the supply in their hands. And we shouldn't let that happen. The second thing to bear in mind is that this stuff is coming out in waves. So if you didn't get the first wave, GameStop has already announced that they're going to be getting in all of their shipments on the 26th of October. Today's the 3rd, as I mentioned, but obviously that just means, come Tuesday when this video comes out, you need to wait 1, 2, 3 weeks. So wait 3 weeks, and GameStop is going to have tons of this stuff out as well. And don't forget, while all of that is also happening, new product is also being released. So another pin box was released yesterday, Friday the 2nd, and new stuff will be coming out throughout the month of October as well as the month of November. So you'll have reprints of this type of stuff, as well as additional product coming out, which will flood the market with supply. When that happens, this card is going to turn into maybe $300. Again, there's still a lot of hype around it. It's the first of its kind and people love it, but it wouldn't surprise me if the price halved or even quartered because of a sudden influx of supply coming in from all over the place. I do kind of want to pick up one of these though. I like Gardevoir, and it's a beautiful card for what it's worth. They do know what they're doing. That's the one thing I will say. The Pokemon company itself really kind of spent a lot of time making the card really nice, and I do have to say the new Rainbow Rares really do look dope. Now, you now have, hopefully, a better understanding of the set, what it's comprised of, realistically what the chase cards are, how it compares to Hidden Fates. By the way, in long story short, it doesn't. Even if you took this card away from Hidden Fates, these prices would not change much, and the reason for that is because there's just so many more cards you could pick from, all of which are super dope and amazing. Over here, you got 2 cards. After that, this set is nothing. This set is a Gardevoir collector's dream, but other than that, not really much of anything crazy going on. So, these prices, expect them to go up, and I have no problem with that because it's a dope set. These prices, expect them to drop because there's a lot of hype around them and limited supply, but over time there will be more supply, and therefore there will be more of this type of stuff on the market, meaning you won't see these prices, you'll probably see half of these prices. I was going to say this one, but that's just dramatic. You know, don't expect to see like 250, 300, I think that's where we're going to end up. In the long term, and this is where I'll kind of leave you all for the day, in the long term, I expect Champion's Path to do pretty well. You know, only time will tell if it ends up selling like Hidden Fates, but, you know, the best way will be in 1 year, like literally 1 year from now, just go on eBay, type in Champion's Path ETB, come down here and click on sold or completed, and just look at the recent ETB listing. This is almost six and a half times the original price of the box, and there's a reason for that, as we've gone over in this video. In a year, do the same thing for this guy, and let's see how well it actually plays out. My opinion, you're looking at something like this. Burning Shadows. Now you might say, why Burning Shadows? A random Sun and Moon set, it was one of the whole number sets, it wasn't a special holiday set, so why is that where I arrive? What is Burning Shadows known for? Ho-Oh? No. Cool promo cards? No. Stop and think about it. What is Burning Shadows really known for? I'll give you a hint. It rhymes with Lizard. JK, it rhymes with Charizard. Right? When you open Burning Shadows, or you watch any of the bigger YouTubers do the same, what are they going after? This thing, right here. This is the one thing they want, is this Burning Shadows Secret Rare Charizard. And so, my theory is that in the long term, Champion's Path will behave more like a regular set with a Charizard in it than it will Hidden Fates. And the reason for that is because it has a Charizard. Charizards are primarily the pure value of the set. And so, in the long term, you can see the prices expect to kind of stagnate. The Charizard will always sell for maybe double or triple the average sealed product, so probably like a $300 card, and then all of a sudden, once it moves out of print, it'll turn into, you know, PSA 10s will probably go for like $3,000, etc., etc., and you'll see, you know, it'll kind of really just kind of regulate into a particular realm where, you know, it'll just be what it is, no problem, no big deal. And yeah, I genuinely feel like that's where we're going to end up with this. I think for a lot of people, you're going to see situations play out where it's going to behave like a Burning Shadows Charizard, and then at a certain time, it'll kind of spike, as most anything does. But for the most part, that's what I kind of expect to happen. But with that said, friends, thanks again for checking out today's PokeChat. Again, bear in mind, PokeChats, although based in logic and reason and observation, are a little opinionated. I do think Champion's Path is a dope set, don't get me wrong. I just think it's really overhyped right now, and it's very annoying because there's a lot of people who just want to open packs for fun, and then there's people trying to like open packs to get the Charizard to make money, and it's kind of annoying because it can really deteriorate the quality of our hobby if you know, eBay sellers and distributors and all these other people think it's okay to mark stuff up from MSRP, which by the way they are told to sell at, and then they go ahead and mark it up because they know the supply is there, or rather that the demand is there, they have the supply. So it's really kind of obnoxious, in my opinion, when that kind of stuff happens. I think we do need to work and be better as a community about controlling how that happens. And I don't necessarily know that there's an answer to that question just yet, but I do hope in time it makes itself known. With that said, friends, thanks again for checking out today's video. I hope you enjoyed or learned something. And if you did, feel free to leave a like down below. By the way, feel free to comment. Would love to engage with some of you guys on your opinions and your experiences with Champion's Path. Let me know if you've pulled a Charizard. Obviously, I had a video last Saturday, and there will be another video this Thursday with Champion's Path openings, and then hopefully I will have some additional content Champion's Path related coming out in the future. But other than that, thanks again for checking out today's video, friends. I hope you guys are doing well, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.